Good morning and welcome to the Small Business Cheerleader podcast. I'm Nicola from NW Marketing, and today I'm joined by Sue Raffan, and we're talking about empowerment. She's you're an awesome empowerment coach and business mentor. So I wanted to have you on today to talk about all things business and wealth online. So how are you?
Excellent, thank you. And thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. So we're going to talk today about success and the steps to have impact and wealth online. So introduce yourself and tell people what brought you to this point and why you love business mentoring and working with female business owners.
Excellent. So I'm an empowerment coach. I suppose I started my personal development and coaching journey back in 2014 when I discovered life coaching, enrolled in a college and started my education and what it meant to be a coach, thinking that it was all about helping others, but actually to be a coach, you have to be coached and be coachable. So of course the journey was mine. And the growth was mine before I could share that gift with others. So my journey started then, and I then became a trainer for that coaching college. So while the college is based in Melbourne, I became the Perth trainer here. And so I trained there for 6 years, pretty much training hundreds of thousands of students and seeing this transformation, like in 2 days, who they were when they arrived on Saturday morning was not who they were when they left on Sunday afternoon. So of course, empowerment is the key to everything, isn't it? When we find and realize our own power. So that was the start of my journey. And then I started my coaching business. So my coaching business had been going along for about 6 years. And then in 2019, we had just moved into our new house. So we had that happening, as well as my kids, 3 children going into private education. So suddenly the expenses were $1.5 million mortgage and $100,000 a year on school fees. Now, I don't drop these numbers to impress you, but to impress upon you that regardless of what your income is, our problems are relative, right? So I'll acknowledge mine were first world problems, but they were still my problems. And so what we found was I needed to scale my business because now our expenses had gone up. And while I was having success and generating a lot of interest, it wasn't enough to be covering our increased expenses. So I needed to explore my options and see what was available. And I realized that I needed multiple streams of income. Only having one income, and especially if I'm going to coach, at least scale my coaching business in the traditional way, I'm literally going to lose all time freedom. I'm going to be a slave to my laptop, a slave to my clients, my diary, and delivering content because I am the business, and without me, it doesn't operate. So it was in 2019, about April. It took me about until the November to get my head around the fact that I needed to incorporate something else. And that's when I discovered an online business and then also understood how to merge that with my existing coaching offering. And so, yes, that's what brought me to explore those 3 steps to creating impact and wealth online by already incorporating what I had and merging it with an additional income stream.
I love that. Yeah, because that is exactly right. And I think that is the only way these days to scale a business without trading dollars for hours, because I think that's this trap that a lot of people get into because of the fact that you are the business, you are the service. You really are always going to be trading dollars for hours unless you can change that structure to incorporate that online, whether it be passive income, whether it be group coaching, whether it be a different coaching structure where you can have one-to-many as opposed to one-to-one, and still incorporating the one-to-one, of course, as a service offering, but having different streams. I think that's 100% where business is going now. I know I had to do the same thing. I was the year after when COVID hit and the marketing consultancy work dried up because shopping centers were scared and they were my main clients. We had to spend a year looking at how do we diversify our business offering should that ever happen again. And I think it always takes something, doesn't it? There's always a catalyst for us having to look at how we run our business.
Open.
There's always a catalyst. Mine was COVID, yours was looking at your change in family dynamics and what was happening. And once we've done that, it really gives us that, for want of a better word, kick up the ass to figure stuff out. So what do you find your 3 steps to online success have been for you once you've made that decision to change the business model, to consider to the traditional coaching model? So can you explain how that works for you and what the 3 steps to online success you found, so that other people can look to start to explore that themselves?
So I understood that to scale my coaching business would mean losing time, that I would be working more hours than if I had a 9 to 5. And that's not why we go into having a business for ourselves. So because my highest value is time freedom, that was the one commodity I wasn't willing to lose. So what I discovered was 3 things that essentially have allowed me to scale. So the first one has been social media. Leveraging your social media to create your brand, because we already have a brand, right? Anyone who's got a Facebook account, that is their brand. What you post, what you share is a reflection of who you are. So the business that we're modeling now is leveraging your social media by sharing. Who are you? What do you stand for? What are your values? What content and knowledge can you share? It's about making an impact and using your social media as a business tool, as opposed to something that just steals your time. So most people, 99% of the population, consume content on social media. 1% leverage it, because if you've got a phone, if this isn't making you money, it's stealing your time. So I use my social media in a way to express myself, to show who I am and what I stand for. And I already had that in place, so I didn't need to create it. The second thing that we use is having a high ticket item, having a high ticket product that I don't need to put together, that I don't need to invest time and energy in. So we leverage a product. It's a Japanese medical grade water machine, and it's been around for 50 years. But it's high ticket, which means high income, high return straight away. And then the third dimension is having an academy or a platform with education, where this education platform explains what it is that I do, how I do it, why it works, and educates others to be able to do the same. So the business that I'm in, essentially all I'm doing is being myself, living my dream life on social media that attracts like-minded people who want the same. And then by bringing them into the platform, they're educated on how to simply duplicate what it is that I'm doing. Yeah, and then it's a win-win for everybody, as you know, you're attracting soul tribe. You want to work with people that are the friends you've searched your entire life for. Yeah. And then they become the people you work with. So I've definitely realized working in isolation is very difficult. It's challenging, because that itty bitty shitty committee comes to town every day telling you, who do you think you are? You can't do this. You should quit, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that's 100%. The imposter syndrome is real. And it's not only once, it comes back every level up. Every time you try and level up your business, that little imposter syndrome, that voice in your head comes back as to why me, etc. Why should I be doing this? Why not someone else? And we have
new level, new devil.
Yeah, we have to come back to the whole version of, well, why not me and why not now? And start replaying and rewriting that script. And that's why I know you're part of, and I'm part of, when you come part of a female business tribe or a group, you've got that backup to bounce ideas, to make sure that the vision you've got has legs, and you can really get that feedback quickly. And I think if you do isolate yourself, you're right, the little voice in your head can sometimes put that doubt as being real, when really it's not, or it could be a challenge to be overcome. Yes. Something that you can work on. And I love that. But I think, as she said, the 3 steps that you've outlined are the steps that will allow you to really look into what it is you're doing and find a way to leverage. And that's the word, it's leveraging, because you already have your personal brand online, and with coaching, your personal brand is you, and it really is aligned. It's attracting aligned people that really are on the same journey or want to be where you are. It's that aspirational side of taking what you've learned and imparting onto others. So what changes has the new business structure brought to your business? Like, what have you found the biggest changes have been for you?
Community is everything.
Yeah.
And especially female business community. So when you're in a like-minded tribe, collaboration, community, coming together, we are so much more powerful as a collective than we'll ever be as individuals. We were never meant to work in isolation. We're social creatures. So certainly that's made the world of difference. The other is it's also removed the scarcity, lack, and fear to now being abundance and flow. I have more time freedom now than I've ever had before. I don't hustle. I don't convince anyone to come into my business. It's all about alignment. And especially with the transitions that are happening in the world, alignment and energy is everything. Gone are the days of needing to convince anybody to do anything. It's all about following what feels right, what feels good. And in our business, we don't convince anyone to come in, because everyone coming in comes in because it absolutely lights them up. We have a 5,500 global community. So the community is amazing. And it's all about genuine support, lifting each other up, all sharing the gifts that we all bring to the table. It's like utopia, which I never thought could genuinely exist. So it's amazing.
And that's it. And I think people have to realize that the only way you can stand out these days is by just being you. In the past, you would have thought that would have been the lowest thing on your list, to actually just be you. But by not doing that, people can read and see the bullshit straight away. So you have no choice now other than to be yourself. And that will obviously attract those that see themselves in you or can see the person they want to be in you. And I think that's where energetics play such a major part now. And I found, speaking to female business owners along the journey and clients that I've coached as well in marketing, the energetics are taking over the hustle and the strategy. The strategy is always there, don't get me wrong, but it's more aligned to how you're feeling in the moment and the flow that you're going through with your business. Whereas beforehand, it was very much about all the figures and about all the, making sure you're following the rules. Whereas I'm finding now the rules don't apply, because every person has a different energetic flow to their business, and what rules might work for somebody are definitely not for someone else. And I love that now, that if you want to post at midnight, post at midnight. If you want to do 5 reels a day, do it. It doesn't have to be these rules. And the sooner we realize that, the freer we feel, don't you? Like, if you feel that you can do whatever you're feeling, not what some person online tells you need to do for success, it's great to see people doing it and following what feels good for you, as opposed to being told you need to do this, because that's where overwhelm comes. And
I think, yes, women are realizing feminine energy has been missing from business.
Yeah.
And it's not a weakness, it's a strength. So we're transitioning now from the 3rd dimension to the 5th, as in it used to be the I, me, myself. Now it's the we, our, us. It's all about alignment. It's about trusting your gut. It's about going with what feels right. It's about being in flow, because if you're hustling, you're going against the energy, and energy never lies.
No,
it never lies.
And it's that push, isn't it? If you're in the push mentality, you're never going to be aligned, and you're never going to feel, your gut's never going to feel right, because you're constantly.
It's also not sustainable.
No, and you're in that scarcity mode, aren't you? You're in that scarcity mindset, and nothing good comes from the scarcity mindset, because people feel that energy. If you're not showing up because you love it, you're not showing up because of the value you can give, you're showing up to sell, or you're showing up from scarcity, people feel it a mile away, because energetics is such a big thing now. You're right. The women's energy and really tapping into that, which has been ignored for so long in exchange for the masculine energy of hustle, hustle, go, go, go. and the difference that makes in women's lives in business. I'm just loving seeing the changes. Are you the same with clients you're working with?
Absolutely. So now it's not about intention anymore. It's also not about attachment. You know, I'll share what my service is, and if it lights people up, awesome. But if it doesn't, that's okay too. I'm not attached, because your intuition will guide you as to what you need to do. I don't need to have an intention for you. Your journey is your journey. So yeah, there's definitely a big shift in energy. And it's all about your energy as a reflection of your business. Your business will feed off your personal energy. So I'm finding I'm actually attracting way more business now than I ever have before. Actually, my accountant just did my tax return, and I've doubled my business in the last year, which many would use the excuse of, you know, all that's going on in the world. It's all opportunity for those open and ready.
Yeah.
And people now, I think, yes, there's no more filters. People can see through authentic and real straight away now. Whereas before, it would take a while before we could sense that. I feel that now everybody's pretty sharp with sussing things out quite quickly.
Yeah, and that's a good thing, I think, because a lot of people over the years, and that's why a lot of people were burned or just not feeling that they ever got a true sense of who they were working with, you know, and a lot of people just felt that they weren't getting the benefits from whatever it was they were doing. Whereas now seeing people, listening to people on podcasts, hearing people on their social medias, seeing reels, seeing video, IGTV, Instagram lives, you're constantly getting a sense of the person you are going to work with. You know what it is. You can hear from their clients, if they're interviewing past clients, you get a really good sense. And I found that has always made me attract to people that I know I'm going to work with and I know I'm going to get the results from. And I think that is a huge shift in the energy of what we're doing these days. So why not, you know, tap into that if that's where you're feeling that you need to go, and stop like having to go the masculine hustle, feeling you have to go and push mentality and that sort of stuff. I work with a lot of clients in their marketing and overwhelm. They don't know what to do. They don't know where to start because they've got constant rules that are shoved at them every day. I should do this. I need to do this. Why am I not doing this? And we have to step back and go, okay, what's your vision? What's your mission? What's your core values? Where are you wanting to take this business? And what is it that lights you up? Get back
because they
to that.
do know.
Yeah, get back to that first. Stop trying to have to keep up with society's rules of what your business needs to be. Do that first and show up in that. Show up in that energy and people will see, and then you will have traction. And if you're overwhelmed and you're in procrastination trap, you won't show up and you won't be you and you won't have the energetics to do it. And before you know it, you know, months are gone, years are gone, and you wonder why your business isn't growing.
And that's where overwhelm is lack of empowerment. You've given your power away.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. And the next thing you know, you're wondering why your business is not lighting you up anymore. It's because you've given that power away. Like you said, you've given it away to the rules, to the hustle, and you're not loving it anymore. So yes, we all need to make money to pay bills. And I'm never underestimating that as a force, but the more you go into push mentality and scarcity and I have to, the more you're going to be pushing away from attracting those people to you. So it's a very tight balance, but when you understand what lights you up and how that's powerful, I think that's when you can turn that corner. And you've found that, what you said with yourself of finding that power and then being able to use that to scale your business into what lights you up.
And our community is a very conscious and aware community, and abundance is available to everybody. So the awesome thing with money is that the more you love money, the more you attract. If you spoke about money, or at least, yes, if you spoke about money like you would an ex-boyfriend, it's not going to come anywhere near you, right? But the more money I make, the more impact I make. And I'm driven by impact. The money is a beautiful consequence. So abundance flows when when yes, it's about knowing the power of money, and that opens doors of opportunity, because it's just energy at the end of the day. Money is just a reflection of the energy being shared.
Yeah, and money is everywhere. There are my business coach for the last year, Ruby Lee, talks a lot about energetics and our wells of money. And if you really need and are looking for money, it is always there. It's how you show up for it. And I think the more that we change our mindset in that respect, I think that is where the difference is, because you are then open for money. You are then open to receive it because you are putting the energy out there and helping people. You're going out with a mindset that is not about receiving money. It's about being open to abundance, because abundance provides help and provides value for other people. The more money you have, the more impact you can make, exactly like you said. And I think
money mindset's key, isn't it?
Yeah, people are now realizing that the mindset needs to shift to being scared of money and not talking about money, and especially women, and not thinking the more they talk about it, the more people are not going to be attracted to them. But the thing is, when you're open for that, your whole energy changes. So why would you not be open to abundance and wanting other people to have that too?
And that's probably the key point there, is that our money mindset is given to us as children, that it doesn't grow on trees, it's hard to come by, you got to work like a dog, blah, blah, blah. But what you'll find with the money mindset block is that many of us are not open to receive. You're happy to spend, you're happy to give, but actually being open to receiving an abundance of wealth is a big block for people. It's a challenge to the mindset that they've held for years.
Yeah, it's a major mindset, because we don't ask for money. A lot of business owners, especially female business owners, don't ask for what they're worth, or they don't, or do not have gratitude for receiving money. They receive money and they feel guilty that they're making money. Whereas I think if we have gratitude for every dollar we get, and we're open to receiving that gratefully, that will then eventually change that money block, and you will then be open to it. I know some people are into woo-woo, some aren't, some are half-half. I think if you're at least open to a mindset shift, I think that that's the main entry into receiving money with gratitude. If you can do that and you're not into woo-woo, I think that alone is enough. But if you're open to manifestation, if you're open to just being, journaling, or just providing the universe, yes, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Or ask the universe for what you want.
You're not going to get it if you don't ask for it.
Just ask. It just needs to know.
Yeah, put it out there, because it is something I think that at the basis of woo-woo, everyone can do. It's just something. Be grateful, ask for it, you deserve it, and act as if. So talk and act as if you are already where you want to be for that. Obviously there's a whole thing of quantum leaping and all those things, but the more you can talk about where you want to be and act as if you were already there, that energy shift alone will get you there. And I find that is the biggest learning I've had in the past year. Act as if, and quantum leaps can happen. You can,
because if you can dream it and believe it, you already are it. It might not show in your bank balance just yet, but that's just a matter of time. So my kids know every time we go to the shops and I tap to pay for something, it's always, thank you, universe, that we can afford this. Thank you that, this has come into our world. When you pay your bill, be grateful that you've got a water bill to pay because you've got a house over your head. There's so much to be grateful for, but gratitude attracts further abundance. The more you focus on what you don't have, the more you repel more coming your way.
Yeah, and I think that is 100% the first step to having and creating impact and wealth online, which is what we're talking about today. I think the more you can be grateful for what you have, firstly, and stop being in the scarcity and the oh, woe is me mindset, the more shifting will happen for you, and being open and manifesting the life you want. Why not? Why not ask the universe for it? And why not be open to providing as if? Talk in your social media as if. Act as if you're already living that life. And that it's not, we're not saying fake it till you make it. It's not that. It's about having the confidence in what it is you're about and putting that out there. Yeah. And I think that's the difference. We're not talking about faking it. We're talking about believing it. Believing in what it is that you have to offer as if you were already booked out, as if you already had that course and you're selling it as if, because that energy will then attract those people. So we need to get into that shift of, we're not faking it, we're manifesting, we're quantum leaping, we're talking about as if. And I think that's a completely different mindset.
And so the way in which I've incorporated my existing coaching business with this online platform is that the entire business is 80% personal development and 20% business, because it's about your growth. It's about the changes in you. So what I love about incorporating it into empowerment coaching and the program that I was already delivering is that this is allowing others to grow their own wealth, their own business, because it's all, you can duplicate it all. So because of the automation, I don't need to educate. I don't need to put together programs. I don't even need to sell. It comes with a sales team that does all conversions. I don't even do that. Literally, my business is open 24/7. It operates all online. And that's the most important thing, is that I spend most of my time at the gym, going to the beach, meeting with friends. That's what I do, because that's what I want to be doing. My business is operating constantly online through automation, which has freed me up hugely.
Yeah, that's the power of it, isn't it? And I know with Black Friday sales just recently, you know, a lot of people were doing their passive income sources, you know, and just allowing those to provide value for people that were open to it. And they just let that roll, and they just let the automations go. And I think that's a side of business, that if you have something that people are wanting to learn, passive like mini courses, you know, workbooks, things like that, that people can just grab as a lower end entry offer, are great for things in times like that, you know, where you can have sales while you're asleep. Yep. So, and then you provide your one-on-one when you need them, and you provide other services on different income levels on your, you know, on your actual journey of product suite. And I think people, when they learn that there's not just one thing they can do, it opens them up to a whole nother level.
So long as you're not taking energy draining things on.
No,
if you're able to, to free yourself. It's the reason why we don't wash dishes each night, if we can have a dishwasher.
Yeah, and that's where automations are just key. And that's why there's so many softwares and so many things you can do now to create that. And that we never had that 10 years ago, obviously. So this is a new way to do business, and I love that. Well, I love the fact that we've been able to talk about all of this, because impact and, I don't know, just freeing people up in their mindset and also in the way that they can run their business is something that I'm really passionate about the last year in particular, seeing people change in the way that COVID has impacted people to go online. I love empowering people, and the fact that you're an empowerment coach and a business mentor just means that there's people that can help you, isn't it?
Yes.
In this way, whether it's, like you said, personal development, 80%, 20% business, but that change alone can just change your life.
Well, what we're finding in these current times is, especially with mandates, people are looking at options. People are far more open now than they've ever been before. And the fact that you can come in with zero skill set and pretty much learn it and take off because you're supported. That's the main thing. You're supported on your journey. You're not trying to nut it out yourself. And the business is lifestyle. We're not here to work like dogs. We're not here not to have quality of life. We're here to enjoy our lives, and this makes it possible.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So where can people find out more about you if they want to start this online business journey, or look at ways that they can get empowered, mentoring, those sorts of things? Where's the best place for them to find you?
Well, essentially, I'm on Facebook under Sue Raffan, and the same name under Instagram. And, you know, I have a website, suraffancoaching.com.au. And the other thing that I do is I have a link that can pretty much explain all that I do and the process I go through.
Perfect. I love that. It's so much easier these days, isn't it? Because there's links everywhere that link to everything. There's no more searching. I love it. So just search up Sue Raffan, and then you'll be able to find on Facebook, Instagram, or the website. And I'll put all those links in the YouTube description and the show notes for the podcast, so that people can find you easily. It's been lovely to chat about all things empowerment. one of my favorite topics, and especially energetics. I've really come to love that the last year in particular. So I think that's the way to go in regards to getting the power back and stop giving it away to uncertainty and scarcity. I think that is the biggest takeaway that I've taken from today, and that hopefully everyone can start exploring themselves. But it's been lovely talking to you, Sue. And yeah, please check Sue out. And if you have any queries, I'm sure DMs in her DMs, and she'll be able to sort you out from there.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
That's right. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Yeah, bye.